Hello everyone, welcome to Telugu One Academy. Friends, today in the topic of internal security and within the topic of various security forces and their mandate, we will be learning about few of the important institutions which are intelligence agencies, by the way, and those institutions we are going to learn today are NTRB, NATGRID, and we will also learn about National Crime Records Bureau, Crime and Criminal Trafficking Network, and we will also learn about the Central Fingerprint Bureau. And in this class we will further learn what are the amendments needed in our intelligence agency sector so that our counter-insurgency operations and internal security related information gathering will be to an optimum level. So coming to the central intelligence agencies, first agency what we are going to learn today is NTRO, that is nothing but National Technical Research Organization. National Technical Research Organization. Friends, the National Technical Research Organization was formed in the year 2004 after the Kargil War. So what happened exactly was, when the Kargil War happened, post Kargil War we had a committee on Kargil War and what are the changes which we need to bring regarding our intelligence gathering and etc. and etc. So a group of ministers which was formed in the year 2003-2004 has recommended the establishment of the National Technical Research Organization, which exclusively deals in intelligence gathering by using the intelligence satellite network, and it also uses radars and etc. and signals for intelligence and counterinsurgency operations. Is a technical intelligence agency under National Security Advisor in Prime Minister's office. It was set up in the year 2004 and it has the same mandate as is the case with the Intelligence Bureau and Research and Analysis Wing. This is exactly how the National Technical Research Organization logo looks like. And you know, my friends, it is an intelligence agency, but it has its own website, but the website does not reveal a lot of information. It only contains the tenders and it only contains the recruitment which could be done by National Technical Research Organization. Basically, the recruitment which it needs is in the name of decrypting or encrypting or cryptography related sort of scientific recruitment is does in most of the cases. So what exactly does this organization do? Okay, the agency specializes in multiple disciplines which include remote sensing, signal intelligence, data gathering and processing, cyber security, geospatial information gathering, cryptology and strategic hardware, software development, and they also do strategic monitoring. So when you compare all this, that is cyber security, cyber crime, strategic information, data collecting, when you will also come to know about one of the another important institution when it comes to NTRO and when it also comes to the cyber security, that institution is National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center. Please note this down. This is a premier institution which looks after the critical infrastructure in India and protects them against cyber crime or cyber threats which are going to cause damage to this critical infrastructure. Friends, you might have learned about critical infrastructure in my previous classes if you have watched the basics on cyber security related classes. So what exactly are these critical infrastructure? Nothing but critical infrastructure contain infrastructure such as transportation sector, exclusively railways and airways. It also contains signaling or communication networks, satellites and etc. And it also contains the nuclear power plants and all the infrastructure basically needed so that the economy functions smoothly. Okay, so please note that. And it works under the control of National Technical Research Organization, has been created to monitor, intercept, asset threats, the critical infrastructure and vital installations from intelligence gathering using sensor platforms which include satellites, underwater bios, drones, VSAT terminal locators and fiber optical node tap points are used for intelligence gathering. Even the National Technical Research Organization also has some other premier institutions like National Institute for Cryptology Research and Development. Please note this down. It's a first of its kind of institution in Asia. Okay, NTRO operates from Technology Experimental Satellite. It also operates with the information gathered from the satellites like Cartosat, especially the military or defense based satellite EMISAT, Cartosat 2, besides two radar imaging satellites, namely RESAT 1 and RESAT 2. Okay, based on these intelligence or inputs from satellite images, it tracks various movements of insurgent groups around or across the borders of India. So even it also gets input from the recently inducted the secret mission or secret vessel of Indian Navy, that is INS Dhruv. If one might have been following the news recently, you could have seen a large ship with a bigger dome like this, okay, made up of crystal sort of dome, which is located in a large ship. This ship is nothing but INS Dhruv. It is an intelligence gathering ship for Indian Navy, and a joint NTRO and IAF, okay, Indian Air Force team, operates very long range tracking radar. That is, this very long range tracking radar will track all the missiles which are coming into or towards India from long ranges. Okay, thus in this way it was all raised in 2017. By this NTRO, we are able to protect our nation exclusively in the field of technicality and intelligence gathering. And this institution also shares all its intelligence with all other institutions or defense intelligence agencies, and also with other central intelligence agencies, so that there is a complete coordination. Next important central intelligence agency which we are going to talk now is the Defense Intelligence Agency. The same Kargil Review Committee has also recommended for the formation of a joint defense intelligence agency. Okay, prior and even now, each defense group or body, that is Indian Army, Navy and Air Force, have their own defense or intelligence gathering network, but for a holistic and a complete gathering for all the three armed forces, we have formed a Defense Intelligence Agency in the year 2002. Okay, 2002 we have formed the Defense Intelligence Agency, which is under the Ministry of Defense. Okay, but it also operates in closely with the Prime Minister Office and Cabinet Secretariat. Okay, and you can see the logo of the Defense Intelligence Agency, which shows its motto, that is nothing but service before self. Service before self is the motto of the Defense Intelligence Agency. So not much is necessary to learn about the Defense Intelligence Agency. And last but not least, I want to inform that the Defense Intelligence Agency works under the Director General for Defense Intelligence Agency, which is led by one of the senior most army personnel. Okay, next. The next important, yes, we have learned very good things, that we have NTRO, we have different intelligence agencies. Even in previous classes, we have seen many other intelligence gathering agencies like information, like Intelligence Bureau, RAW, etc., NIA and etc. So when you see such a large number of intelligence agencies what India have, and with diverse and sometimes overlapping functions which exist with these intelligence agencies, there is also a necessary that there is a centralized system where all the intelligence agencies information is gathered, and all other intelligence agencies can share, collate and analyze that information, so that they can successfully deter all the insurgent operations which could affect India at its homeland. So to do that, we have established an important institution. Okay, we come up with an important idea, that is nothing but National Intelligence Grid, or we have also called it as NATGRID. The idea of NATGRID was first pronounced after the Mumbai terror attack in the year 2008. Okay, it is an integrated intelligence framework for connecting databases of security agencies of the government of India to gather inclusive patterns of intelligence that can be accessed by the intelligence agency. Why? Because you see, in 2008, when we have seen there was a lack of intelligence input and there was a direct attack on the homeland of India in Mumbai, then we thought we need this NATGRID as early as possible. The data can be accessed by the central agencies including law, RAW, Intelligence Bureau, CBI and etc. The office of NATGRID is attached to the Ministry of Home Affairs. This ministry, you have to almost anything which you are learning about internal security, the ministry will be the Home Ministry. Okay, Ministry of Home Affairs, I can simply say. Some intelligence agencies like Revenue, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, and those intelligence agencies will be under Ministry of Finance. Apart from that, most of the intelligence agencies are with Ministry of Defense or Ministry of Home Affairs. It faced opposition on the charges that possible infringement of privacy and spillage of confidential individual data. There was a controversy that if you are giving an input to NATGRID, it might be misused or it might be hacked or something. But government has taken every other step so that the data is protected in a very safe manner. So Ministry of Home Affairs, when you see up till February 2020, announced that in the parliament the project NATGRID with all its requirement of physical infrastructure is due to be completed by the end of March 2020. Almost it has not been revealed because these are all sensitive intelligence agencies, and data recovery center has been established in the Bangalore, has been completely fulfilled with its infrastructure, and yet we are about to launch the Delhi center or the headquarter of NATGRID or National Intelligence Grid. The next important intelligence agency, my friend, which you have to learn or remember is the National Crime Records Bureau, NCRB. NCRB. So one must understand who exactly does operate the NCRB, who exactly does operate the National Crime Records Bureau, and what exactly is the mandate, and how the funding is done to the NCRB and etc. And what are the uses of National Crime Record Bureau for the public, for the intelligence agencies, for the police, etc. and etc. So when you come for that, then National Crime Records Bureau is not new for India. It has been consistently, not since independence but before independence also, our police forces were continuously said that they need to maintain a data regarding all the important cases which they get. So based on that, various committees in post-independence and pre-independence have formed so that there is a data gathering in the police force. So later it has been slowly digitalized, but it was in the 1977 the Police Reforms Commission, okay, accepting the recommendation of National Police Commission of 1977, the Ministry of Home Affairs constituted a task force in 1985 to work out the modalities of setting up National Crime Records Bureau. Today it is one of the most premier institution. It is headed by an IPS officer, senior most IPS officer. So the government accepted the recommendations of task force and constituted the new body which is called National Crime Records Bureau in the year 1986, okay, at New Delhi as its headquarter. When you see the various operations of the National Crime Records Bureau, what are its basic objectives one need to understand. To function as a clearing house of information on crime and criminals, including those operations at national and international levels, so as to assist the investigators and other linkages with the crimes. And these are all self-explanatory, my friends, not necessary that I need to explain each point, because one need to pass and note down these important points. To store, coordinate and disseminate information on interstate and international criminals from and to respective state, national, investigative agencies, courts, prosecutors, in India and without having referred to the police station records. So every police station, the aim of this National Crime Record Bureau is to digitalize every case which comes into any of the police station which is located in India, to collect and process criminal statistics at national level. Regarding this, my friend, when it comes to the criminal statistics, NCRB, National Crime Records Bureau, is the premier agency which continuously has been giving the reports related to the prison statistics, crimes of India, which is based on the statistics on crime related percentages or rates in India. Okay, I'll also discuss more about that. To receive from the supply data to penal and correctional agencies for the task force to rehabilitation of criminals, their remand, parole and premature release, etc. From the start when the person has committed the crime till he has been released, every information is carefully noted down by the National Crime Records Bureau to coordinate, guide and assist the functioning of state crime record bureaus, to provide training facilities to personnel of crime record bureaus in the state, union territories, even the new personnel who are recruited into National Crime Records Bureau, to evaluate, develop and modernize crime record bureau are the basic organizational mandates. Apart from that, it also advises central and state governments on matters related to fingerprint, footprints and conduct training courses for fingerprint expert. One need to note, my friend, the Central Fingerprint Bureau, which is located in Kolkata earlier, 1956, hopefully it has been established and it has been subsumed into the NCRB. That's why we have a mandate on fingerprints also. That's why you see, it also helps the interstate criminals. It also helps trace the interstate criminals by fingerprint search, to function as national storehouse for fingerprint record of convicted persons, including FP records of foreign criminals, footprint records I can say, or fingerprint records also one can say. Executive and develop computer-based system for central police organization, also cater the data processing and training needs for computerization. That is how to computerize your basic information which is at the ground level with the police stations. So what NCRB has subsumed various information bodies include Crime and Criminal Tracking Network System, and next is Central Fingerprint Bureau, and our National Crime Records Bureau has also its own statistical branch, training branch, and also has a data center and a technical branch which also deals with computerizing and also noting down important fingerprints. As I have told you, important statistics which are released by National Crime Records Bureau include the basic statistics like prison statistics in India, that gives the status of various prisons which are in India, and it also gives the crime in India. So what are the levels of crime, how many crimes have been happening against the women, children, or how many farm suicides have been there, accidental deaths and suicide we will also see in that, farm suicide, voluntary suicide, student suicide, businessman or entrepreneurial suicides. Okay, in the previous years we have seen that there are more number of entrepreneurs who have been committed suicide than the farmers in India, was a major controversial statement one can find. According to the report which has been published in the year 2020, it might be the prison suicide and accidental death statistics of 2018-19. Okay. So next, as I said you, when you have completed learning the National Crime Records Bureau, and we have also seen the mandate of this organization, that is to improve the human resources regarding the computerization of records or fingerprinting or whatnot, the mandate it is basic, and I hope you understood and you can write that. So one need to also understand the basic subsumed body, that is nothing but Crime and Criminal Tracking Network and System. Friends, when it comes to the crime and criminal tracking network, the whole NCRB data which is collected, collated, analyzed and has been summarized will go into the crime and criminal tracking network, where each police station from any location in India can simply by logging in can track a person's identity and what are the different crimes he has committed. It contains a person or a convicted person's fingerprints, okay, personal information, data which is related to a particular crime committed by him. So it contains every other personal information. So that's why there has been also a controversy regarding this. There has been a breach of personal privacy in creating CCTNS even for the criminals. But what can we do? It's important that we need to fight crime rather than to encourage the privacy of criminal, okay, who is habitually committing such crimes. The crime and criminal trafficking network systems is the planned scheme convinced, this is very very important, note down, conceived in the light of experience of non-planned scheme, namely common integrated police application. So it was first idea from the common integrated police application. Later, the crime and criminal tracking network is a mission mod project, has been made a mission mod project in National E-Governance Plan, under the National E-Governance Plan of Government of India. So CCTNS aims at creating a comprehensive and integrated system for enhancing the efficiency and effectiveness of policing through adopting principal e-governance and creation of national-wide network and infrastructure for evolution of IT-enabled state-of-the-art tracking around investigation of crime and detection of criminals. An allocation of rupees 2000 crore has been made for crime and criminal tracking network project. Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs had approved the project in the year 2009. Friends, this is how a crime and criminal trafficking network works. Every information from different police stations, you see, this is State Crime Records Bureau. Each police station gives its information into a cloud system. This is the cloud, okay. From this cloud, this is a state cloud, okay, state information cloud. From each state, the inputs will go to the central, that is central NCRB, or one can also say National Crime Records Bureau. It goes into NCRB data or a central cloud, and even from the other departments which are related to policing, that information also goes, and even it takes the input from the citizens. For example, what happens is when you see certain crimes which are committed in the internet, such as latest crimes which are conducted in the name of gaming platform, which are nothing but a gambling platforms, okay, nothing but a gambling platforms. Such input also taken from the citizens, and all this information when gathered into a central cloud can be gathered by each police station in any part of India, and even the central agencies, exclusively Ministry of Home Affairs. This is how the system of National Crime Records Bureau, CCTNS, works. Now, who will be implementing that crime and criminal trafficking or tracking network? Crime and criminal tracking network. Who will be doing this? It will be done exclusively by the states, because, my friends, it is the state which has to implement. Centralized planning and decentralized implementation is the motto of crime and criminal tracking network. Is the motto of crime and criminal tracking network. Ministry of Home Affairs and NCRB are planning a key role in planning the program in collaboration with the police leadership within the state in the deployment of few core components and in monitoring and reviving the program. It is, however, the states and duties drive the planning and implementation at the state level. The role of center in this whole process of crime and criminal tracking network is to focus primarily around planning and providing core application software to configure, customize and enhance the the deployment in the state. The center is nothing but it gives support, budgetary support, it gives support in the case of developing the software and etc. State drives the implementation at the state level and have continue own the system after the deployment also. The implementation of crime and criminal tracking network has taken an integrated service delivery approach rather than the procurement of hardware and software individually. The central feature of CCTNS implementation at the state level is bundling of services concept. Bundling of services concept, that is getting services from various agencies. According to this, each state selected one system integrated who the single point of contact for the state for all the components of CCTNS. That is what every equipment is getting from one organization. These components include the application, the changes made to the core application provided by Ministry of Home Affairs, hardware, communication infrastructure, associated services such as capacity building and hand holding, etc. So what are the objectives of the scheme that can be listed? Okay, what are the major objectives? Why exactly we need the crime and criminal tracking network? This makes the functioning of police citizen friendly and more transparency by automating the functioning of police stations. This also improves the delivery of citizen-centric services because of use of information communication technology, improve police functioning in various organizations, provide investigation inputs for the police, especially the civic tools and technology of information makes it very easy and faster for any crime to be easily solved. Reduce the manual and redundant record keeping, keep the track in progress of cases including in courts, assist senior police officer in better management of police, and facilitate interaction and sharing of information among police station, district headquarters or at state level headquarters and other police agencies are the major objectives or outputs what you can expect from crime and criminal tracking network. Under the crime and criminal tracking network project, as per the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, approximately 14,000 police stations throughout the country had been proposed to be automated besides 6,000 higher officers in police hierarchy. Okay, so it also includes all from circle, sub-circle, subdivisional, district range, every other headquarter. It also includes the data which is related to the fingerprints also. So who are the stakeholders in this? Who all get participated in this? Citizens will get participated in this. Ministry of Home Affairs, as in the name of National Crime Records Bureau, State Police Department, external departments of state such as courts, passport offices who need the verification or who want to know the criminal status for issuing the passport, even for transport department while issuing the licenses to the person, even in hospitals and non-government and private sector organizations to check the criminal status of their employees. So what are the benefits? When you see the stakeholders, let's see what are the various benefits that each stakeholder get. For police, as I already said you, basics for investigation tools, okay, centralizing the crime and criminal information repository they will get, enhanced ability to analyze crime patterns and modus operandi, analyze road incidences and other accidents. When you have a different large amount of data, you can easily look at the nature of crimes and easily see where the next crime could occur or who is the person committing such crimes. Friends, when you see all this, just for your sake, most of you might have been looking through a TV series called CID from your childhood onwards. You see in the CID, they use lot of technology. Immediately when they see a person or when they get a fingerprint at a crime spot, they take the fingerprint and match it with the fingerprint bureau in their records. Okay, even they match the DNA, even they match the picture, facial structure, all these data, all this whatever the CID shows you in their laboratory will be only possible when you have such a crime and criminal trafficking network. And you see what are all the natures. The whole series completes in a hour. So that's what that fast trial of crime. They reduce the workload, the collaborative knowledge orientation, and it also causes better coordination and communication with external stakeholders throughout the implementation of electronic information exchange. So what are the benefits to Ministry of Home Affairs? It can give better intelligence to other agencies. It can form a holistic pattern. It can get faster and easier. It can standardize those systems. It can faster and greater accuracy for inquiries from Parliament, citizens through RTI queries. Easy and low cost scalability of crime and criminal system for the future. Everything is overlapping points here. If you are not following me, please pause the video and read them. So benefits to the citizens, as I said you, simplified process. They can track what exactly is the status on the complaint what they have provided. Okay, even they track in the court. Okay, they can easily register their cases. Multiple channels to access services from police. They can also, recently EFIR we have seen. Okay, that is also a part of CCTNS. Okay, simplified process and accurate means of tracking the progress, as I said you. Simplified process of accessing general services for certification, verification and permission, as in the case of obtaining license, passports and etc. Simplified and accurate access to view report of unclaimed or unrecovered vehicles. That is, whenever you lose a vehicle or cell phone, when the police, you give a police complaint and you want to track and see the CCTNS network, you can easily find where exactly or under which police station does your vehicle exist, and you can go there and claim that also. Simplified process and channel for grievance registration, improved relationship management for the victim and witness, faster and assured response from police to any emergency calls for assistance. Benefits for external departments, as I said you will get the information very quickly. You will also get the seamless integration with various other agencies. Now friends, we will go to the next important body which has been subsumed into the National Crime Records Bureau, that is National Fingerprint Bureau. Okay, National Fingerprint Bureau. So the National Fingerprint Bureau came into being in 1955 in Kolkata. It was firstly under the control of Intelligence Bureau. Later it came under the control of Central Bureau of Investigation. Okay, transferred to CBI. But when National Crime Records Bureau in 1986 was formed, the Central Fingerprint Bureau mandate was shifted to National Crime Record Bureau, the total administrative control of National Crime Record Bureau. So what are the functional roles and training activities? Friends, National Crime Records Bureau is the premier agency which looks into the crime records related to fingerprints, which is related to criminals or crimes. So now friends, we will see into the functions, roles and training activities of the Central Fingerprint Bureau. The main functions of the Central Fingerprint Bureau have been mainly to maintain the fingerprint databases of the criminals of national and international, and to disseminate this information. Okay, so what is the major aim? This is aimed at to maintain central fingerprint record slips, conduct search of specified categories of Indian and foreign criminals convicted of offences falling under the schedule of crimes of Central Fingerprint Bureau. The scheduled crimes include murder, human trafficking, kidnapping and some other grave crimes. And also to maintain records of international criminals sent by Interpol Division of CBI and Narcotics Control Bureau of New Delhi. So all these premier institutions maintain their fingerprint data with this Central Fingerprint Bureau. To undertake examination of questioned fingerprint impression referred by central government departments and Government of India undertaking, that is who's exactly does this fingerprint belong to, they also use the scientific methods to determine some other person's fingerprint. To impart training to fingerprint science theory and practical to police and non-police personnel of state governments in India and personnel from countries under the Technical Cooperation Scheme of Colombo Plan, Special Commonwealth African Assistance Plan and International Technical and Economic Cooperation with developing countries. Not just skilling the people of India regarding fingerprints, my friends, it even skills the personnel from other countries under different schemes, so that they also help in developing the crime solving methods using fingerprints. To coordinate the work of the State Fingerprint Bureau and give necessary guidelines in all matters relating to fingerprint science, to conduct all India board examinations since 1956 every year for accrediting the fingerprint experts, the eligibility to appear the examination graduate from a recognized university who has completed 3 years practical experience in fingerprint work. That is what, my friends, the Central Fingerprint Bureau also conducts examination to certify a person, saying that he has enough experience to conduct fingerprinting, whatever fingerprint science. Okay, the eligibility they have provided is 3-year degree with fingerprint knowledge. To conduct all India board examination since 1956 every year accrediting the fingerprint experts, the eligibility is, as I said you, in here I have detailed it a lot. To conduct the competition in fingerprint science at All India Police Duty Meet annually, to publish Fingerprint in India, an annual publication which is given by this important institution. So next, this premier institution, that is Central Fingerprinting Bureau, also has an automated fingerprint identification computer system, which is simply called as FACTS, okay, which is co-developed by National Crimes Records Bureau and CMC Limited, India. The current version of FACT is 5.0 version, an advanced version when compared to the previous versions. The system uses image processing and pattern recognition techniques to capture, encode and store the matching fingerprints, including the comparison of change prints. Okay, what it does is it scans the whole hand of a person or fingerprint and matches even the lines or grooves within a finger, so that an exact identity is easily found out in solving the crime. It uses pattern, class, core and delta information, minute location, direction and neighboring information, ridge counts, that is ups and downs, distances, density, type, fingerprint background and foreground information, etc. So these are all technical information about the automated fingerprint identification system, which is also called FACTS, This also stores non-fingerprint information or demographic details like gender, region of conviction details. So what is the key role? At the Central Fingerprint Bureau, all the question documents involving disputed fingerprints are examined and opinion given regarding the identity or otherwise. The service is free of charge for all the government agencies and public sector undertaking. In case of private agencies or individuals, the document should be routed through the government agencies. Mostly it is free. My friends, so now here we come to the end of Central Fingerprint Bureau. Now we learn the next important institution which Government of India wishes to establish and has been pushing to establish such an institution, that is called National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC. In 2012, the Cabinet Committee on Security have given the approval to set up the National Counter-Terrorism Center. Okay, so what happened is, but the states have been opposing, saying that the National Counter-Terrorism have overlapping powers with the state police force. So that's why we can't give the power to the center, because law and order is a state subject in the constitution. It is proposed on the basis of anti-terror unit set up in National Counter-Terrorism Center of USA. Okay, on the basis of lines of USA, we have formed this. The Chief of National Counter-Terrorism Center will be the director who will be reporting to the Director Intelligence Bureau and Home Secretary. It will draw its powers from the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967. It will set up a small offices cross-wise over the states to gather real-time information regarding terror intelligence. Additionally, it has ability to look for the data including archives, report the digital data from any security agency and organization. It can conduct the raids without prior consent of the respective state. This is very important point. As is in the case of NIA. Without any consent from the state, it can directly go into action. The suggestion has been met with criticism from the chief ministers of different states as they see that it means deterring of federalism in India. So my friends, till date we haven't able to form the national NCTC is not yet established in India because states are opposing, because law and order is a state domain. Now friends, when you have seen such a large number of intelligence agencies and their mandates, one must also look into how come you can improve these intelligent networks in India so that we are secured and safe in our mainland. The government, the important points which I have noted down, please note them down, very, very important. The government must formulate a comprehensive approach to fight terrorism, and all organizations of state must come together to implement this national level counter-terrorism strategy. We need a one single good strategy, not a multiple strategies. It must draw up a strategy that is interministerial, interagency and interdepartmental in character. That is, this should be holistic and applied in coordination or in tandem with each other ministry and agency. Such a strategy must also balance the interest of the central and state governments. That is, there should be no overlapping and state should never oppose it. And further, it must be ensured that the counter-terrorism policy is based on strong but egalitarian laws. That is not like controversial laws which include UAPA. Okay, you see here, Indian experiments with POTA, TADA and Unlawful Activities Act, Terrorist Activities Detention Act, okay, have failed to deliver the desired results. Because my friends, because of the grave nature of POTA, TADA, they have been repealed and have been set unconstitutional by the Supreme Court also. So we have one of the very controversial law, that is Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, which even detent the people without showing the exact proof that he is conducting unlawful activities. Because the term unlawful activity and the term terrorism have not been clearly defined within the act, and this made it very, very controversial. And laws must be just and humane and must not be designed to either be vindicative towards or shield any particular community or religious denomination. Okay, there has been saying that most of the cases under Unlawful Activities Prevention Act have been towards the Muslim community, so that's why it should never be used against some particular community. The experience of many other countries have provided that the possibility to formulate strong yet egalitarian counter-terrorism laws. There are possibilities because, as in the case of USA, here you see, USA established a powerful department of Homeland Security following the 9/11 attacks. There has not been any major terrorist attack on its soil since it has established this Homeland Security organization. One major lacune which we observe in our India's approach to counter-terrorism is gross disconnect between various intelligence agencies and center and state government in counter-terrorism activities. There are glaring disparities in the views held by New Delhi and state capitals. So every state has their own view regarding the counter-terrorism. But my friends, any terrorist activity which happens in the mainland of India, it also happens in a particular state most of the time. So it should be the role of the state government also to have a complete and holistic vision to counter the terrorism. The constitution must be aimed to move law and order from the state list, and it should be moved into the concurrent list so that center can take up enough power to counter these type of terrorist activities in the land of India. Exclusively such laws which include the external sponsored terrorism should go to the concurrent list for sure. And it is the time for the government to bifurcate the internal security function of Ministry of Home Affairs into a different ministry headed by a cabinet ministry. That is, they are saying what, my friends? This is the clear time. Now you separate the internal security department from Ministry of Home Affairs and give it to some other department so that they can handle it very carefully under a different cabinet ministry. Besides prevention through accurate human intelligence, HUMIT is nothing but human intelligence, and technical intelligence, intelligence gathering and successful counter-terrorism requires effective intelligent penetration. That is, we should not just stay till the terrorist attack us. Our intelligent agency or personnel should directly go into the terrorist organization, work inside the terrorist organization as an espionage practices, penetrate the terrorist groups so that their leaders can be systematically neutralized by an empowered anti-terrorism agency. Comprehensive planning and better management are necessary for the quick elimination of a group of terrorists during a strike while the terrorists are still on a killing spree. We need a comprehensive plan, my friends, and better management are necessary so that quick elimination of these terrorist groups is possible. And post-incident investigation is aimed at unveiling the identities of the planners and plotters and bringing to the justice the perpetrators of incidents of terrorism. Soon the incident happens, you have to bring the terrorist to the home and he should be punished. The National Investigation Agency, where it lacks the teeth at its present form, it should be amended so that we give it more power to counter such terrorist activities in India. It should be remodeled on the lines of USA's Federal Bureau of Investigation to give both preventive and investigative powers. While there is no need to blindly ape any country, there is no harm in learning from the best practices abroad and incorporating them into our policies. India's intelligence coordination, my friends, and assessment apparatus at the national level and counter-terrorism policies remain mired in these days. That is, they are always following the age-old methods of India's intelligence gathering. Now it should be modernized itself, and it should also go into the digital and cyber spectrum to gather more and more information. We are now living in the age of new terrorism that is far from more violent and diabolic than before, and policies must keep in pace with the emerging development. Also, the government must enlarge the scope of counter-terrorism policy to include covert operations aimed at eliminating the leaders of terrorist organizations abroad who are actively engaged in sponsoring terrorism in India, so as to eliminate the problem at its root. So my friends, this is all about the central intelligence agencies. We now come to an end of the topic of central intelligence agencies. I have also provided what are the major steps that India need to take. Okay, in a nutshell, let me conclude. One must always remember that the Department of Internal Security needs a separate ministry and its own cabinet for now, because something that India faces tomorrow will be coming from our internal security issues only, because of its very diverse linguistic, ethnic, religious and caste-based system in India. There is a very chance that external players, exclusively state and non-state actors, could influence these factors in India and cause disturbances which lead to grave destruction of the true nature of India, that is unity in diversity or unity with diversity. So my friends, I hope you understood what I have explained here. Most of the part I have been saying here are self-explanatory. I have made those slides very elaboratively from various different websites by gathering a lot of information which will help you to write your exam in a very well fashion. So my friends, I hope you understand my class and thank you for watching our video. This is Nikhil from Telugu One Academy. Thank you.